let's talk Cyborg. What is next for Cyborg? Because I know we just talked about her last week, but I feel like we need to talk about her a bit again because, I mean, last week we talked about whether or not her glory days were over. But now we got to figure out what is next for her. So let's pull up the Bellator rankings. Or you know what? Hold on. Okay, so we got the Bellator rankings. Cyborg's a champ. You got Arlene Blencowe, but she just fought Arlene Blencowe like, I think it was earlier this year. Yeah, she fought Arlene Blencowe a little over a year ago, last October. Blencowe's 2-0 since then, fighting her way back to a title shot. Kat Zingano at number 2. Or I should say, the shell, the husk of Kat Zingano. Leslie Smith at 3. Cyborg just beat her recently. Lee McCourt at number 4 now. Lee McCourt, I'm sorry. All due respect to Lee McCourt, she is not ready for Cyborg. Janae Harding at number 5. I love me Janae Harding, but she's not ready for Cyborg either. Sinead Kavanaugh, she just beat at number 6. Sorensen just lost to Blencowe. And then the rest is just meh. So what do we do with Cyborg now? What is next for Cris Cyborg at this point? I don't know. Now, it seems like, nope, too far. Well, Kayla Harrison was just at Bellator this past weekend. I think she might end up signing with Bellator. Bellator, I think, is willing to offer Harrison some good money. But the question is, do you bring in and do you make Bellator Harrison versus Cyborg right away? I mean, you could, but wouldn't it be better to have Harrison beat a fighter in Bellator first? That way everybody knows her at Bellator, or she's like established in Bellator first. In the meantime, though, what do you do with Cyborg since then? Do you make her wait for Harrison to get signed and then fight Harrison later? Do you make Cyborg sit out that long, or do you have her fight someone else first? A lot of people are calling for Kat Zingano. I gotta be honest, I have no desire to watch Kat Zingano get murdered in the cage, because that is what would happen. Kat Zingano is not going to be competitive against Cris Cyborg in 2021. I'm sorry. Zingano is just not competitive anymore. She's not. Okay. Beating a fighter who hadn't fought in 3 years and almost finished her, or almost getting finished by that fighter, and then beating Lydia Parker does not show that you are really, truly competitive at this stage of your career. It just doesn't. And yeah, Brian Williams brings up a good point. There's no evidence of Cyborg being past her prime. I don't think she's past her prime. I just think that her gold, well, what was I talking about? Like her golden era is gone. Like all of her luster and shine for the most part is gone because Amanda Nunes just absolutely destroyed it. And then now she's in Bellator fighting less than stellar competition. But here's the thing. What do you do with Cyborg in the meantime? I have zero desire to watch her fight Kat Zingano. I know there are some people that do. And some people think, well, if she beats Kat Zingano, then she beat the last person to beat Amanda Nunes. Who cares at this point? Like, that is the crappiest reasoning ever. Look, if Kat Zingano beat Amanda Nunes like a year ago, that'd be a great reason to make the fight. But Kat Zingano beat Amanda Nunes, how long ago was that? Like 2014? Let me see. Let me pull this up real quick here. Kat Zingano beat Amanda Nunes in September of 2014. That's practically ancient history. at this point, okay? That was when Ronda Rousey was still on top of the sport. And Cyborg was an Invicta. That's 7 years ago. Beating Cat Zingano does nothing for Cyborg at this point, other than an easy win to pad her record, which she just padded her record this past weekend with Sinead Kavanaugh. I just don't know what they're going to do with her, other than make her sit out, bring in Kayla Harrison, and then boom, make Harrison versus Cyborg. If Harrison beats whoever they put her in against. That's the only fight left for her outside of Amanda Nunes. And she's not going to fight Amanda Nunes. It's not going to happen. Because Cyborg's not getting back into the UFC. She burned that bridge down, blew it up with dynamite on her way out. Brian Williams says she definitely needs a fight before. In the meanwhile, Cyborg can fight Cat. I just have zero desire to watch her beat up on Cat Zingano, because that's what's going to happen. Cat Zingano is going to go in there, and she's going to get this absolute crap beat out of her. Like, I'm just so tired of watching Cyborg pad her record at this point. I mean, I've watched it for how many years now? So, yeah, those are my thoughts on what's next for Cyborg. Not a big, long conversation. I just thought it was worth talking about. What is next for her? For me, the only thing next is to have her sit out for a little bit and then have her fight Kayla Harrison after Harrison comes into... Well, yeah, first Bellator needs to sign Kayla Harrison. Then you have Kayla Harrison take a fight inside Bellator. And then when Harrison wins, then you make Cyborg versus Harrison. Basically, just have Cyborg sit out until the end of next year practically, or at least halfway into next year. That's the only thing left. I have zero desire to watch Cyborg pad her record against Cat Zingano, because that's all that fight is going to be at this stage. More record padding. We just saw that this past weekend against Sinead Kavanaugh.